Okay, so guys, today's discussion today is a day one for our Palo Alto training series and for PCNSC training, right? So today we will discuss our very first module. Okay, as I have already briefed you about the firewall, what is firewall, how it works, what is the difference between the stateful and stateless firewall, right? So what is a firewall? Can anyone tell me?
Sir, firewall is the security device. Basically, first of all, this is the most important to the network security, internal network. Suppose anyone can get the access or internal web server, any type of server. So actually, this device is decided who is coming and who is outgoing and internal, all who is going, and the decision will make actually.
Yeah, that's right. First of all, firewall is your network barrier, right? It creates a
Hi,
barrier
Rohit.
between. Yeah, hi.
Here I would
Who's
like
this?
to interrupt. So, like, it is the first session, or like earlier there were session like being taken by you?
We just went through the course content
Okay,
before this. This is a day one. We are
okay,
starting from today.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Let
So,
me introduce myself. I'm Jiten, working as senior specialist in SL technologies.
okay. So
Okay.
what is your total experience?
It is 8 years.
Okay. So you have been in network domain or network security or in both?
Network only.
Okay, okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's great. Okay. So guys, what is firewall? Firewall, first of all, is a device, or you can say is a network security device that creates a network barrier between your trusted LAN network and your untrusted WAN network, right? That we discussed in our previous session. Okay, this is how this picture elaborates the functioning of our firewall. It is creating a barrier between the trusted and untrusted network, right? In untrusted network, we have a multiple hackers, crackers available, right? Hackers available in the untrusted network. So to protect our internal host or trusted network from the hackers or the outside world, we have a first level of defense that is known as firewall, right? And then we have also seen what is the stateless and stateful firewall, right? Can anyone tell me the difference between stateless and stateful firewall if you have attended the last session? Anyone?
So stateless is working as like a ACL. So there are the no comment, only put the comment, and particular policies cannot provide in this session, this stateless firewall. A stateful firewall also make the particular rules applications in every layer. So,
Yes.
Actually, stateful firewall basically build build a security tables, means incoming and outgoing tables, encoding the ports. Okay,
right.
And stateful actually firewall just for ACL. We have used these Cisco IOS routers, and it is only filter the only traffic for which traffic we have accessed, given access.
Yeah, right. But I would like to correct yourself. Like in case of stateless firewall, stateless firewalls are the firewalls that do not create any type of session table, right? And for allowing the traffic from out to in or in to out, we need different policies, right? We would need both direction policies to be created in case of stateless firewall, right? In case of stateless firewall, it will be a more hectic for a network administrator, right? Because he will have to manage more policies, right? But in case of your stateful firewall, stateful firewalls maintains the session table for every connections, right? What it contains in its session table? It contains source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, and the application details, right? And it maintains that session table, and you will have to define only one security policy to allow your traffic from LAN to WAN, okay? and then your WAN side, when the reply will come, that reply will be received from that security policy, right? Sorry.
कब बंद करूं?
Guys, please mute yourself if you don't want to like answer any question. Okay, please be on mute. So we were discussing about the stateful firewall, right? In case of a stateful firewall, I told you it maintains a session table, right? In session table, it keeps few details such as source IP, destination IP, source port, and destination port, and the application, right? As you can see in this pictorial representation, this is a form of a stateless firewall. Here, administrator will have to create two firewall policies. One is for in and one is for out. Here, one user is sitting in the internet, is trying to access one server, that is 1.3.3.7, right? So this is the main difference. If you will see the stateful firewall here, then you can see only one firewall policy will be required. Whenever traffic will go from the outside or client to the server, then reply packet will come from the same policy, okay, based on the session table, right? So here in stateful firewall, it is a less like it is a more advanced, or you can say it is a less hectic for our network administrators. Okay, so we were discussing about the stateful firewall. So in stateful firewall, we have a multiple firewall vendors available like Palo Alto, right? In Checkpoint, Fortinet, and many firewalls available, FTD, right? And these are the next generation firewalls. Okay, so in this training session, we will be seeing, or we will discuss about the Palo Alto. Okay, and what we will be covering here, we will be covering PCNSC level of knowledge, right? This is our course content that we have already discussed, the modules that we are going to cover here, right? So today we will be starting, like I will start from the module 1, that is our basic introduction, or you can say single pass architecture and the packet flow logic with the Palo Alto firewall, right? So guys, this is, let's discuss about the Palo Alto networks first. What is Palo Alto and how it was introduced into the market and how it becomes that much popular into the market, right? First of all, Palo Alto is a city in California, San Francisco Bay Area in USA, right? It is the name of a city in California. This next generation firewall is named by this city of USA, right? PA is a USA multinational cybersecurity company headquarters in California, right? And Palo Alto Networks was founded in 2005. Okay. So guys, if you will see here, then we will be covering PCNSC exam. And if we talk about the PCNSC, it is a second level of exam available in Palo Alto, right? First level is PCNSA. Then we will give the exam for PCNSC. So with this training module, we are going to cover PCNSC level of exam. So you guys can see this is who can give the exam, those who want to build their career in the field of network security, cyber security domain, right? Who all are in network domain, want to switch their career into the security domain. All those candidates can appear for these exams, right? So what is the duration? You can see here 80 minutes and plus 30 minutes for non-English. Okay, this is the exam cost. That is $160. That varies depending upon the times, right? And you need at least
30 minutes is extra for non-English speaker.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is non-English speaker? He will get one on 10 minutes for 35 questions. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And total number of questions in PCNSC exam will be 75, right? And passing score would be 70%. You need to score at least 70%, right? So we are going to cover the PCNSC with this training, and certificate validity will be 2 years, right? So guys, first of all, we will discuss about the Palo Alto firewall hardware architecture, right? So how is the Palo Alto hardware architecture works, right? So first of all,
Hello.
guys,
So what
yeah,
is the examination fees of PCNSC?
examination fee.
Yeah, for
It's
the certification
$160
course.
US.
Okay.
It's approx $160 US. It varies. Okay. Sometimes it goes beyond.
Okay.
This is important to clear or not for this certificate.
Yeah, it's important if you have a knowledge and if you want to boost your career in network security domain. Like good companies always prefer engineer who is having or who are having the exam global certifications, right? If you have a certification, then you will be preferred over the market candidates, right? Okay.
Okay.
It becomes essential for you to clear the exams, right? Okay, guys. So today we will discuss about the architecture of our Palo Alto firewall, right? How the Palo Alto firewall architecture works and in which principle it is it is based on, right? So let's discuss about the architecture first, right? So guys, as we have seen, we have discussed about the basic introduction of the Palo Alto firewall. Okay, now the Palo Alto firewall architecture. We will be discussing about the Palo Alto firewall architecture. So if you will see here in this diagram, in Palo Alto firewall architecture has a unique feature that is called single pass parallel processing architecture, right? That is single pass parallel processing SP3 architecture. Okay, it works on a principle of single pass parallel processing architecture, right? No other firewall in the market available that works on this architecture or in this processing methodology, right? This is the only firewall available that is working on SP3. So by this lecture, we will be seeing, or by this session, by the end of this session, you will get to know how the single pass architecture is working, right, in Palo Alto networks, and how it is different from other vendors. Okay, so it works on single pass parallel processing architecture. That is why it provides a high throughput and low latency, right? First of all, it is divided in two parts. If you will see the architecture, it is divided in two parts. Okay, first is our single pass software, and then second part is our parallel processing hardware, right? What does it mean, single pass software and parallel processing hardware, right? So if you will see here, I have mentioned the diagram. If you can see the diagram or the architecture of Palo Alto network, right? It is showing, it is having some of the engines in its software, right? That is a policy engine, app ID, user ID, content ID, and the networking, right? And the lower part here, it is showing as a hardware, right? That we will discuss. So guys, here we have a single pass software technology available with the Palo Alto network, right? What does it mean? Which processes the Palo Alto network firewall is empowered with a single pass software, which processes the packet to perform the function like networking, user identification, policy lookup, traffic classification with application ID, decoding, and signature matching for identifying the content, which all perform once per packet as shown in a illustration below. Okay, so if you will see here, if you will consider it as a firewall, right? Let me take a paint and let me try to explain you the concept here, right? Okay, guys, just assume this is our firewall, right? This box is my firewall device, right? And these are our packets that is coming to our firewall. These here our packets are going out of the firewall, right? Once the packet, whenever the packet is received by the firewall, this stage is known as ingress stage, right? What it is known as ingress, because here traffic is being received by the firewall, right? And once the firewall will process all the things and it will forward the packet, right? It will forward the packet, then this stage is known as egress interface or egress, right? The port that will be used to forward the traffic will known as the egress port, and this stage is known as egress stage, right? Now in between it will do the processing. So here we are talking about the single pass.
Simple things are which packet is inbound traffic we can say ingress, and outbound traffic we can say egress. Correct?
Yes, you can say, but it is not completely right. If outbound means what? Outbound means if you are making the connection to the outside, right? Inbound means whenever you are receiving the connection, right? So whenever traffic is being received by the firewall, this is known as ingress, right? Whenever it will forward the traffic, it will known as egress. Okay, egress stage.
Though it is LAN or WAN.
Yes. Either it is a LAN or WAN to LAN. Once it is received, if it is receiving, then it is a ingress. Okay. Suppose my traffic is going from LAN to WAN, right? So my traffic flow is from LAN to WAN. So it will receive in this interface. So it will become the ingress. Okay. And it will be forwarded to WAN. So it will become egress. And if my traffic flow will be reversed, like traffic is moving from WAN to LAN, okay, so my traffic will be received by this interface. So this interface will become ingress, and this interface will become egress, right? Is it clear?
Basically, which traffic is coming from this is egress, and other side is egress, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So here we are talking about the single pass technology from the Palo Alto networks, right? So what happens in the single pass processing? As you guys can see, whenever the packet is being received by the firewall, whenever the packet is being received by the firewall, and it processes all these things, right? Policy lookup, content ID, app ID, user identification, right? In content ID, it do check data filtering, URL filtering, real-time threat prevention, right? In application ID, it will try to identify the application with the help of the signature, right? In user ID, it will do the user check, okay? Which user is coming and which user is forwarding the traffic. All those things is being identified in this user ID concept, right? So what happens in single pass architecture, if you will see here, in single pass architecture, these all the inspection, or you can say all these things will be taken at once by the firewall. It is not in stepwise like this. Okay. In other firewall, what happens? First of all, other firewall we have other vendors available, Fortinet, Cisco, and all those firewalls, right? So what happens on those firewalls? First of all, those firewall will do the policy lookup. Then it will take time to do the content inspection. Then it will go for the application ID check. Then it will do the user ID, right? So if my like policy engine is taking 1 second, and content ID is taking 1 second, and my app ID is taking 1 second, and like this. Assume entire process is taking 5 seconds processing to process one packet. But in case of your Palo Alto firewall, it will take a single processing architecture. So in single processing architecture, it will do all these checking in one go. Okay. So here it will only take 1 second to identify or to do all these type of checks.
You mean to say like every transaction will be processed like simultaneously?
Yes, yes. It will do all the checks simultaneously or in a one go. You can say in one go. Okay. What happened in other firewall? In other firewall, it will be like this. Okay. This. Let's say this is my policy engine, right? This is my content engine. This is my application ID, right? This is my user identification, right? This is L2, L3, right? So if it is taking 1 second here, 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 right? So from ingress to egress, it will take 5 seconds to process one packet, right? But in case of your Palo Alto, it is having a single pass architecture. In single pass architecture, it will do all the processing in one go. Okay, in one go, it will take around 1 second or hardly 2 seconds, whatever it is. So in this way, it is different from the other firewalls, or it will take less time to process any traffic, or it provides a high throughput, low latency.
So I have one question here. Okay.
Mm.
So this application ID, content ID, data filtering, URL filtering, real-time threat prevention. Okay, that's fine. This protection or this filtering for incoming traffic, or which is outside coming from outside via internet or MPLS, or this is
That
for LAN
depends.
also.
Yeah, that depends how you are configuring your policy, right? Suppose if you're going from LAN to WAN, right? And you want to control your traffic. So you will be enabling all those things, right? But if you are going to LAN, suppose you are not identifying the application, you want to use the user ID, then user ID will be identified, right? That will
Yeah.
totally depend on your policy. You are
Not record. Now, if you go, if we will go LAN to LAN, so that specifically filtering that policy not required, because the URL filtering is not required. Real-time threat prevention is not required because my traffic is going in LAN to LAN. So
yeah, it is okay that you are trying, means your traffic is going from LAN to LAN, but uh, by considering the cyber security attacks, now you should always enable the content IDs, all those checks in your local as well, right?
okay,
Because there may be a chance in your local area you have one infected PC available, right? That is
correct.
infected with your
Maybe.
𝗲𝗏𝗈 Trojan. Okay.
Yeah.
If you will enable the communication without inspection, there might be a chance that it will impact all your entire network, right? So for filter those traffic or to block those traffic, we need to enable the inspection for each traffic passing through the firewall, right? That is the reason
Okay.
only we are paying that much of amount to place a firewall in a network, na? So that we can do the proper inspection, right? So that our
Correct.
network will be protected, right?
Correct.
So it depends on the administrator, but it is a good practice if you will use all the features, right? Whether it's a LAN or WAN. If you're not like if you're going to LAN, then in that case you don't need URL filtering. Then don't go for the URL filtering, but at least go for the content filtering, where it will check for the antivirus, anti-spyware, vulnerability protection, right? Zero-day attacks, all those things will be verified by the firewall. If it is legitimate, or if it doesn't have any virus worm Trojan or any kind of malicious things, then it will forward, else it will block the traffic, right? So guys, I hope this architecture is clear to everyone. So here you guys can see in the lower diagram, it is explaining the architecture that is being performed or used by the other firewall vendors. Okay. Here, as I mentioned you, it is a step-by-step procedure that is done by the other firewall vendors, right? First of all, it will do the policy lookup. Then it is checking the URL filtering policy. And in next stage, it is checking the IPS, then in AV protection, right? AV signatures. So this is how we have like this is how the Palo Alto firewall is different, stand out of the box, and it do the content inspection parallelly, and it comes with a single pass software features available, right? So this is how it provides you the high throughput, low latency. Okay, so this is the traditional firewall. All other firewalls works in this manner, right? This is, if you will see here in this diagram, it is showing us, right? This is our ingress stage, and this is our egress stage. In this between in this ingress and egress stage, if you will see here, it doesn't have a single pass architecture, right? It is a step by step. First of all, this step will be performed. Okay, in this step, it will do the L2 to L3 lookups, then policy lookup, port based lookup, then it will check the policy, right? And in this it will again perform all these steps, and then it will check the URL filtering. Then the third step, it will go for the same steps, right? Then it will check the IPS inspection, IPS policy. Then in fourth step, it will again check the layer 2 to layer 3, and then it will in this stage, it will check the errors, if you have any errors available in your packet or not, right? And then it will check the AV policy. So this is how it will take more time to process any traffic, or you can say any packet. And because it is done in a single means in a one go in our Palo Alto network, that is why in our Palo Alto network is a more faster, or you can say it provide more throughput and low latency. Is it clear, guys? Anyone has any have any doubt in this architecture or processing method of Palo Alto network? Then you can ask. Okay. So Palo Alto network next generation firewall single pass software scans the content based on the same stream. It uses the uniform signature matching patterns to detect the and block the threats, right? By adopting the methodology, Palo Alto network generation is negating the use of a separate scan engine. Okay, low latency and high throughput it provides, right? And
hello.
Yeah.
Here L2/L3 monitoring HA config management reporting. What exactly does in that step?
In this step, first of all, it will check the layer 2 and layer 3. Okay. Layer 2 means source port, destination port. Layer 3 means source IP, destination IP. Right?
Okay.
Networking means it will check the routing. Okay.
Routing. Okay.
The HA you already know is a high availability.
High availability, yeah.
So management and reporting means the management traffic to the firewall traffics. Okay. So this is a case of your traditional firewall, not a Palo Alto firewall. Keep in mind, right?
Okay.
Okay. So next part.
Rohit, you mentioned like it is a stream based, like the row based load balancing, which is done with the channel. So likewise, like it works on the stream.
Sorry, come again.
You mentioned like it is stream based. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So like it scans and inspect the packet like on particular stream.
Yes. Here you guys can see now we have a content ID available, right? In content ID, we have a multiple features available with our Palo Alto firewall, like AV, antivirus, vulnerability protection, right? URL filtering, okay? Zero-day attack, okay? File filtering. So all those things we will be discussing, okay? That I am talking about here, right?
Okay.
That is the part of your content ID, okay? And in application ID, it will check the application, what application traffic is carrying, right? Whether it's a Facebook traffic, it's a Twitter traffic, it's a Facebook chat, Twitter chat, okay? All those things. And what is user ID means which user it is trying to access, right? If we have integrated our firewall with our AD server, in that case, user ID comes into the picture, right? So we will see
user ID for local user, na? Which is already configured in AD.
Yes. Suppose if you have a firewall integrated with your AD server and you are creating a policy, user-based policy, in such scenario, user ID inspection will be done, right? User will be identified by the firewall.
But it is not record for external user. Sometimes we have web server and we install the web server in external DMZ zone. Okay, so a public IP it is netting. So someone is access my web server via external user. Sorry, he is external user and he is trying to accessing my web server always because I install this server by public IP. Okay, so
Right,
that times
right.
this is not this was not happened, correct?
Yeah, that time that user ID will not come into the picture because that in that scenario communication will be happen with the help of your IPs only, right? Not the user base,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
it's a step available in its processing. Like it will at least check, right? Once it will check, then it will get to know whether it's a traffic from in to out, or means in which direction it is flowing, right? Whether it's like user defined, or if it is having a user, then it will try to identify the user based on the directory you have created in your AD server,
AD. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we will move forward. In case of Palo Alto, it provides you the SP3 architecture. Next part is our parallel processing hardware, right? It provides us the parallel processing hardware. So what does it mean? So Palo Alto Networks comes with the parallel processing hardware. Ensure function specific processing is done in parallel at the hardware level, which is a combination with a dedicated data plane and control plane. Okay, so here is the difference. If you will see, and if you will compare our Palo Alto firewall with the other firewalls, okay, what is the difference? It is having a separate or dedicated control plane and data plane. Okay, is having a separate, or you can say dedicated data plane and control plane. Now, what is data plane and what is control plane, right? So guys, control plane is a plane that is managed or that carries the traffic, or you can say that carries the management traffic or to the device traffics, right? And your data plane is a plane that carries your actual data traffic from user to the destination, right? All the sessions and whatever session it is going to handle is being carried by your data plane. So in case of our Palo Alto firewall, it is having a separate or dedicated control plane as well as data plane. If you will see control plane, so it contains management traffic, right, to the device traffic, and it is having a dedicated CPU, dedicated RAM, and dedicated hardware in it. Okay, and if you will see the data plane, in data plane also it is further divided in three parts, right? It is having a signature match, security processing, and network processing. And in each part, if you will see here, it is having a dedicated RAM and CPUs available, right? So what is the advantage of having a different, or you can say dedicated control plane and data plane? So if suppose if your data plane CPU got spike, or if your data plane is having some issue, there will be no impact on your control plane, right? You will be able to access your firewall. At least you can see what is going on with your firewall. So this is the difference. Okay, it is having a dedicated control plane and data plane, right? So if you guys can see here, control plane is responsible for the tasks such as management, right, configuration of Palo Alto network firewalls, and it takes care of logging and reporting functions, right? So Palo Alto next generation firewall offers a processor dedicated to the specific that works in a parallel. Data plane in a high-end model contains 3 processors, okay, uh, connected by high-speed 1 Gbps buses, right? So in our data plane is also further divided in 3 processors, right? In 3 parts, you can see. First is security matching processor. Second is security processor, right? And third one is your network processor. So security matching processor, dedicated processor that performs the vulnerability and virus protection, right? This processor is dedicated for virus protection and vulnerability protection. Security processor, this dedicated processor that performs a hardware acceleration, right, handles the security tasks such as SSL decryption, right, IPsec decryption, and similar tasks, right? And in your network processor, it does all the routing lookups, netting lookups, right, QoS, route lookup, right, MAC lookup, network layer communication. Okay,
Okay,
so
Lohit,
this is
sorry for interrupting. I have
Mhm.
one questions here. this is the 3 processor. This is the software-based software-based processor or a hardware-based?
This is a hardware. This is
okay.
a hardware.
So 3 CPU are there.
Yes.
Okay.
In case of your hardware, in case of your Palo Alto network hardware, here we are discussing our hardware architecture, right? Parallel processing hardware. So our parallel processing, or you can say our Palo Alto hardware, is divided in 2 planes. First of all, that is first is your control plane. Second one is your data plane. Now, what is the use of these planes? Control plane manages all your management traffic. Okay, and your data plane manages all your data traffic, actual data traffic, right? That will flow from your user to the destination. Okay, now our control plane is having a dedicated CPU, dedicated RAM, and dedicated SSD, or you can say hard disk.
Hard disk,
right?
Yes.
Similarly, if you will see your data plane is also having the dedicated RAM, CPU, and hard disk. Okay, so what is the advantage of having the different planes available in FortiGate? In Palo Alto. So the advantage here is if your data plane is impacted. Suppose if you are under attack with your DOS attack, if you have a DOS attack in your network, right, and your data plane is impacted, in that case, your control plane will not be impacted. You can at least access your firewall. You can see what is happening, right? Because it is having a dedicated RAM, CPU, and all those things. If
and when control panel is down, some error or something else, the control panel is down. That time data is flowing, but we cannot manage the firewall.
Yes, you will not be able to access the firewall.
Okay,
but your production environment will not go down, right?
It's not impacted any production.
Yes, your production will be in operational mode, right?
Good structure.
Parallelly, you can check what is the issue with your firewall. So this is the very big advantage of using, or you can say this is the very important feature of Palo Alto firewall that makes it different from other vendors available in the market. Okay, that is the reason it is being used 90% throughout your like infrastructure
organization, enterprise organization. Okay. And what is the purpose of this is security process, security match? Okay, please scroll up.
Yeah, I have explained here now. It is having a 3 processors available within its data plane, right? Those are security match processors.
Could you please elaborate the security matching processor, like how it works? Like,
security matching processor means it will check all the whenever. Let me tell you with an example. Okay.
All 3 comes under the data plane. Network processor.
Okay, let me tell you. Try to explain you with the example here. Suppose this is my firewall, right? And it is receiving one traffic and it is forwarding one traffic, right? Now, my what is this? Data plane processor is divided in 3 parts, right? What is that is a security matching processor, security processor, and network processor, right? So whenever traffic will come to your firewall, it must be having one source IP, right? It must be having one destination IP. It must be having one source port, right? Source port. It must be having one destination port, right? It must be having some application data, right? Means what traffic it is trying to go through, right? All those things. Suppose here one user is sitting and he is trying to access 8.8.8.8, right? 8.8.8 is our Google server, right? So what will be the source IP? Source IP will be the user IP. Let's say 10.1.1.1. And what will be the destination IP? Destination IP will be your 8.8.8.8. Source port, it will always take random. Destination port will be, let's say we are using ping, then it will use the ping protocol. Else, suppose you are browsing something, then it will take the HTTPS, right? 443. And the application data accordingly, if you will try to access like Facebook, Google, or anything like that, then it will take the application. as well, signature. So whenever the traffic will be received by the firewall, its data plane security matching process will check whether this traffic is having any kind of malicious things available in it or not, right? Suppose if you are trying to upload any data, or if you are trying to download any data from your server that is globally hosted, or that is hosted in the internet. So in that case, your security matching process will check all the virus related things, malware attacks, right? All your vulnerability protections, right? Whether it is having any flaws or not, right? Whether it is having any virus or not, whether it is having any Trojan worms available or not, whether it is a legitimate traffic or not. If it founds anything malicious, then it will drop the packet. If it doesn't find any malicious traffic, then it will allow the traffic. Okay, so this is
On what parameters like it will scan and it will filter out?
sorry.
I'm asking like on what parameters it will filter out the data. What will be the parameters?
Parameters, okay. See, we are deploying the Palo Alto firewall in our network. So what happens in our Palo Alto firewall network? It is having a dedicated database available in it that gets synced with the Palo Alto cloud, right? From the cloud, it downloads the signatures, okay? Signatures for antivirus, anti-spyware, okay? Vulnerability protections, all those well-known signatures being downloaded from the cloud, or you can say support of the Palo Alto. And by matching those signature, it is gonna apply to the firewall traffic, and it will try to detect whether the traffic is a malicious or not, right?
Are you talking about the IPS, correct? It is built in IPS.
Here it is combined now. In next
IPS.
generation firewall, it comes with the firewall.
So we can configure only signature only IPS.
Yeah.
Right? And for URL filtering and others IP filtering and other things.
Here signature is offered for your application ID also, right? For your IPS, you can say it is having a signatures for your antivirus, anti-spyware, vulnerability protections, all those things. Okay. For
previously we have we had separate box for IPS.
Yes.
But now next generation firewall, IPS or IDS are
it
only
comes
built
with your Palo Alto firewall itself, right?
Yeah.
It is integrated in the firewall only.
Okay. So who did work in IPS previously, he can easily do this.
Okay. So
understand.
guys, yeah, 𝗭𝗵𝗵. So here our task is to finish this to understand the architecture of the Palo Alto. Let's discuss about this. Okay. So I hope this is clear to everyone. Security matching processes, security matching processor do the all antivirus protections, right? All the vulnerability protections. Whenever the traffic will hit the firewall and it will try to go to the outside, or whenever user is sitting in a local area network or try to download something from the outside world, then this processor will check all the virus content, okay? Trojan virus, worms, okay? If it doesn't find anything, if it will not block it, then it will allow it accordingly, right? Then our second processor is a security processor. So security processor, this processor does, it do the SSL decryption, right? We will see in our session, like in our whenever we will go to the next modules, we have a dedicated modules for SSL decryption, IPsec, all those things, right? So here the firewall performs the SSL decryption, okay? It checks the IPsec by decrypting the IPsec traffic, and all those similar type of task is being performed here in the security processor, right? In networking, processor is majorly handled by the firewall to check the routing, netting lookup, right? QoS, route lookup, MAC policy, right? MAC lookup, all this type of things is being done in the network processor. So guys, I hope this single pass parallel processing architecture is clear to everyone, or you have any query.
Last is for network processor. It will be used by it can be used by routing table also, correct?
Yes, yes. Route lookup,
Okay.
policy lookup. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Netting
Good.
lookup. Okay.
Good. Good. Okay.
MAC
Very
lookup.
good.
All those things will be checked here. So, guys, is it clear? We have a.
Yeah, Rohit bhai, I have a doubt. Could you please
Mhm.
explain again, like why there is an extra, why there is data plane and control plane separate? Uh,
Yeah, sure.
like if one will be impacted, the other will be there, something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I
So,
did
guys,
miss that part.
I was talking
Could you
about
please come again?
planes available in the Palo
Hello,
Alto networks. Okay. So, our plane, like
hello,
in our hardware, you can hear me, right?
hello.
Hello. Am I audible, guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You are audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So guys, here our hardware is divided in two parts. Okay, we have a dedicated control plane and data plane, right? What is control plane? What is data plane? Control plane is a plane that manages all the management traffic. Okay, so it is having a dedicated CPU, RAMs, and hard disk. Okay, in data plane, it is also having a dedicated CPU, RAM, and hard disk. We have seen the further classification of the data plane as well, right? So what is the advantage of having a different or dedicated control plane or data plane here? Suppose if you are under any attack, okay, if you have any problem with your control plane, like if you are under an attack of DOS attack, right? And you are not able to access your firewall, in that case, your traffic will not be hampered, right? Means if you have any issue with your one of the plane, other plane is independent, right? If you have any issue with your management traffic, your data plane traffic will not be hampered. Your data will go as it is. Your production will not go down, right? Similarly, if you have any issue with your data traffic, right? If you have any issue with your data plane, your control plane will be safe. You will be able to access your firewall. You will be able to check what is going in your firewall, right? So this is
Okay,
the
okay.
difference.
So could you please give a difference between management traffic and data traffic? What exactly is?
Management traffic is the
Mm,
traffic that is the traffic to the device, right? Like whenever you will configure the syslog, okay,
so,
yeah, syslog radius configuration and
Good.
LDAP integration, the
AD
traffic that is
configuration.
carrying, yeah, the traffic that is carrying from the firewall or to the firewall will be come under your control plane, okay? And data plane will be your actual data traffic for the user, right? Actual data payload. Suppose
oh,
you have one user, he is sitting your local area network and he is trying to access facebook.com, right? So the traffic from user to the facebook.com, the traffic is being handled as a data plane for your Palo Alto network, right? But all the management plane, all the management traffic, like syslog, radius traffic, okay, all those traffic will come under your data control plane that is being used for managing your firewall, okay, will come under your control plane. I hope it is clear, right? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rohit.
Yes, sir.
Clear.
So this is the way, guys, this stands out of the box, or you can say it becomes very popular in the market because it provides the SP3 architecture, single pass parallel processing. Okay, this because of the way it is handling the traffic, it provides the high throughput, low latency. Okay, and it comes out of the box and it makes a difference from other next generation firewalls as well, and it become more popular in the network, or you can say in the firewall technologies. Okay, so this is the uh, single pass parallel processing architecture available with the Palo Alto firewall, right? Our next module, or you can say next discussion, will be about that we have already discussed. Okay. So
I think we have this document which I already shared by your concerned team, correct?
okay, if you have this, then it's good. It is having all the like content details. Okay, so we have covered single pass architecture, how it works, right? Now we have a very most important like concept, that is a packet flow logic. Whenever you will understand or will try to study any firewall, you should know how the traffic is being handled by the firewall. Okay, what is the traffic flow? Which means how the traffic, whenever the traffic is being received by the firewall and whenever the traffic is being forwarded by the firewall, what are the stages available in the firewall? Okay, that we will study in the packet flow logic. So packet flow logic is very important. If you will do like study any firewall, you should know the packet flow. So it's a little bit complex or very lengthy in case of our Palo Alto network. We will try to understand the packet flow of the Palo Alto, right? Let me check the document. Okay, guys, so this is our packet flow diagram, right? Packet flow of Palo Alto firewall, right? First of all, we will discuss the ingress stage, okay? So as I have told you, suppose this is my firewall, okay? And here we have one user who is trying to establish one connection to the outside world, suppose internet. Okay. So whatever the traffic is being received by the firewall, this stage will known as ingress stage, and this interface will be known as your ingress interface. And since the firewall is forwarding the traffic from this interface, so this interface will be known as your egress interface, or this stage will be known as your egress stage, right? So here we are discussing about the ingress interface or ingress stage first. Okay. Once your traffic will be received by the firewall, right? So what are all the things that firewall will check, or how the firewall will react to that traffic that will come under your ingress stage, right? So first of all, whenever the traffic will be received, or whenever the traffic is received by the firewall, first of all, it will check the packet ingress process. Second stage means you can say the first stage. Whenever the traffic is received is a packet ingress process. Okay, here it will try to extract all the L2, L3, and L4 information, right? What is L2, L3, and L4 information? In L2, we can say source port, destination port, okay? And in L3, it will try to check the source IP, destination IP, and in L4 information, it will try to fetch the source port and destination port, right?
HTTP traffic also. Now the L7.
That is the application layer.
L7. Okay. L4 transport layer, na?
Yeah, L4 is a transport.
Protocol?
Here it will check the transport, or you can say
UDP. Port.
Yeah, TCP and UDP. Yeah.
Port. Yeah.
Port will be checked. Source port and destination port, right? So here, all those things will be verified by the firewall. It will try to extract all those things from the incoming packet, and it will check the interface and the zone lookup. Okay, since Palo Alto firewall is a zone-based firewall, right? So if you have a machine connected to your firewall, then it must be having one zone. This interface one must be called in your one zone, because our Palo Alto firewall is a zone-based firewall. So it will try to fetch the interface detail, and from that interface, it will try to check which zone it lies. Okay, which zone traffic is coming from. Okay. So then it will check the ingress process error. So after extracting all those things like source port, destination port, source IP, destination IP, okay, and source MAC, destination MAC, and source zone, right? Source interface. Then it will try to check whether it is having any kind of errors or not. Yes.
Hello. So what is zone here?
Zone means like in case of Palo Alto firewall is a, we can say Palo Alto firewall is a zone-based firewall, right? What is zone? Zone is a dedicated, you can say, area where we put a similar kind of machines, right? So if you have heard about the firewall technology, it works most popularly in 3 zones. That is a LAN zone, WAN zone, and your DMZ zone, right? So
Okay.
LAN zone is a zone where you put all your local area network devices, right? DMZ zone is a demilitarized zone where you put all your public servers, because you do not want anyone to allow your access, means anyone from outside world to come or enter to your local area network. That is the reason we kept, or we keep all our public servers in a separate zone that is known as demilitarized zone, right? And next, you can call it as a WAN zone. WAN zone is a zone where your means
Rohit,
I speak.
military zone is not there, correct? Military zone only for use for internal users. That is the database server
No,
application. Oh,
no. It
okay.
is, that is not a case. Demilitarized zone is a zone that where you place all your public servers,
Yeah,
right?
this is yes, external DMJ or
Yes.
DMJ.
Your
Okay.
servers will be accessible from outside world,
Outside. Okay.
because you're making your server
Yeah,
publicly
netting.
using your servers. Okay,
Mm.
so we do not want anyone to enter in our local area network. Okay, suppose anyhow our one server is compromised, at least our local area network will be safe. Your all DB and all those servers will be placed here, right? Database or information details servers will be placed in your local area network, right? Or you can have a different zone created.
Maybe actually some enterprise are created militarized zones. So only for the database server, billing server,
Yes,
honeycost
yes.
server, that people only use this server and no one can access this. Only local user or some specific administration user had access this. For this zone is militarized zones. So I think there is no military zone, or is there any military zone here?
Yes. Demilitarized zone is a zone where you place all your servers in. Okay.
I am talking about the military zone.
Okay. Yeah, militarized zone, you can put
Yeah.
your server, DB servers on all those servers,
Okay.
right?
Okay, understood. Got
In
it. Thank you.
demilitarized zone, you will place all your public servers, right?
Got it. Thank you.
Because you do not want any hackers to come into your network, okay, or to come in your local area network. Okay. So guys, here we were discussing about the ingress stage. So as soon as the packet will be received by the firewall, it will do all the checkups. Okay, ingress process, we called it as a ingress process. In ingress process, it will check the L2, L3. It will try to extract the L2, L3, and L4 information. In L2, it will check the source MAC, destination MAC. In L3, it will try to find the source IP, destination IP, and in L4, it will try to find the source port, destination port, right? And then it will try to check the interface and zone lookup, right? Which interface it is coming from and what is the zone, okay? In which zone we have called this interface, right? All those things it will verify. It will try to fetch the details, and then it will go next and it will try to check the error, whether this data is having any kind of error or not. If it is having any error, then it will discard the packet immediately. Else, if it is fine and it don't have any error, then it will go to the next stage. Sorry, guys. So in next stage, what it will do, it will check the firewall inspection applicable, right? If it will check whether it's a SSL traffic or your IPsec traffic. If it is SSL or IPsec traffic, first of all, it will decrypt the traffic, right? To fetch all the details, right? Because in your SSL or IPsec traffic, all the information.
Hi, Rohit.
Yeah, hi.
Like before the SSL, like there is one step, firewall inspection applicable, like how it moves to the different flow and how it moves to the SSL VPN. So
Yeah,
that is my
actually,
point.
we will discuss. Just hold on. Okay. Just.
No, I do have just this query, like how it moves to the SSL one, like after crossing the firewall inspection applicable.
Yeah, in this stage, it will check whether the inspection is applicable or not. Now you are asking how it will check whether the how it will check whether the inspection is applicable or not. So
if it is applicable, then it will move to SSL.
yes, definitely. Whenever the traffic will come, either it will be a plain text or there might be two cases whenever the traffic will be received by the firewall. Okay, either it's a encrypted traffic or it's a plain text traffic. Okay, in most of the case, in nowadays we have a traffic that is running over HTTPS, right? So what happens in HTTPS? In HTTPS, SSL tunnels will be created from the client to the source, right? That is encrypted by your SSL. Okay, so whenever the traffic comes in a plain text, so it will not perform any decryption.
This SSL, we need to create a separate policy, or by default it is there in the firewall?
No. We will have to create a policy. Okay. At some level it will do like application signature, all those things it will identify. But if you will do the deep inspection, or if you will do the content inspection, you can go with the SSL decryption, right? So here we are talking about the this stage, how the firewall will get to know the inspection is applicable or not, right? So whenever the traffic will be received by the firewall, there are we have two cases available, right? Either the traffic will be your clear text or it will be your encrypted traffic, right? Suppose you are originating your traffic from LAN to DMZ, right? And you are means trying to access from the IP only. In that case, the traffic will be your plain text traffic. In that case, decryption will not required, right? But if you are sitting in your local area network and you're trying to establish your connection to the outside world, like you one user trying to access facebook.com, naukri.com, anything hosted in the internet, that connection will be your HTTPS connection, right? And that will be encrypted by the SSL. So for that type of traffic, firewall will check that this traffic is a encrypted traffic, and inspection will be required here, right? If the inspection is required here, then what the firewall will do? Firewall will go and do the decryption, right? It will do the decryption of the traffic. Either it will be encrypted by the IPsec or SSL, right? There may be a chance that you have a side-to-side tunnel between two firewalls or two locations, and the data is flowing between them, right? And that is encrypted by your IPsec tunnel, right? In that case also, the decryption will be required. Okay.
So
Suppose this
some
system
external user access the web server which is installed in DMZ, so that time the packet is a plain text or a HTTP SSL.
It depends how you are hosting your server, right? If you are encrypting it with the SSL, then it will be a encrypted traffic, and if you are plain text, yeah, that will depend on you, na?
But user is connected by IPsec tunnel. Okay, the remote access VPN or something VPN. So that time,
that time it will be encrypted, na?
So, 𝗏𝗏, is there a different policy for? We will have to configure different policy for IPsec and different policy for SSL, right?
No. For decryption, you need to you need to create the policy that we will see in the decryption portion, right? Here we are just trying to understand the flow, how the traffic will be identified by the firewall and how it will react to the traffic, right? How it will process the traffic. Okay, don't worry. We will discuss all those topics in detail. How the IPsec policy will be created, how we can create the SSL traffic, right? How we will create the IPsec tunnel between the firewalls. Okay, here we are just trying to build our basic concept about the firewalling, how the traffic is being handled by the firewall. Okay, just try to understand the logic here. Okay. Guys, anyone trying to ask anything? Anyone?
Yeah, like post description of data, it will again move forward to
yes. So once it is identified, yeah, let me make you understand.
Yeah, please.
Once the traffic is being identified your firewall, right, and it will try to find whether that decryption is required or not. Okay, suppose it identified that decryption is not required, then it will go further, right? If it is identified that it is encrypted by your SSL or your IPsec, then it will do the decryption of your IPsec or SSL traffic, right? and then it will again it will decrypt the packet, and it will get to know what is the L2, L3, L4 information. Okay, it will try to fetch all those details again, and then the interface and the policy lookup, right? Zone lookup, sorry. And again, it will repeat the process, and it will check whether the traffic is having any error or not. If it is not having any error, then it will proceed further. So is this clear, guys? Ingress stage, I think it is clear to everyone, right?
Rohit, here already we have done the inspection for a packet, right? Earlier, then why we need to do the again the packet ingress process again, like after tunnel description?
This is the stage we are discussing about, right? That we discussed about the engines available in the hardware. Okay. Here we are discussing at which level, how the traffic will be handled by the firewall, right? In a previously we were discussing about the hardware, in which engine it will check the content inspection, right? Here we are checking in which stage decryption or all those traffic will be checked, right?
Got it. Like after tunnel description, it's again go back to the packet ingress process, like extract.
Yes, because all your traffic is encrypted, right? It will decrypt and it will find the details, right?
Like before that, already extracted the L2 or L3 information, right?
No, if it is if it is plain text, it is a case of plain text, right? If it is encrypted, then it will go for the decryption and it will repeat the process. It will check all those things.
Okay.
Right? Because your traffic will be encrypted post L3 or L4, right? If you will see, your 𝗂𝗃 header will be placed after your layer 3, right? After the layer 4, your packet will be encrypted. So traffic will not be inspected by the firewall. Firewall will not be able to check what is the destination IP, destination port, all those things, right? So to check all those things, firewall need a decryption, right? So it will do the decryption. It will fetch again all the details, L2, L3, L4 information, and it will check whether the traffic is having any error or not. If it is not having error, then it will go forward.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a simple process. Okay.
Now,
guys,
sorry, I have one question. After tunnel decryptions, it will go for against packet ingress process, correct? After IPsec SSL VPN tunnel after packet decryption, after decryption the packet, then it will go packet ingress process.
Yes, ingress process. It will go for the ingress process, right?
And then it will be follow ingress process error, firewall inspection.
Yes. First of all, in ingress process, it will try to get the details, L2, L3, L4 details, right? That is source MAC, destination MAC, source IP, destination IP, and source port, destination port, right? Now it will check whether it is having any error or not. If the packet is having any error, then it will be discarded by the firewall. If it doesn't have any error, then it will be moved forward by the firewall.
Okay.
Right.
For further not for further inspection, direct it move for then you mentioned the firewall inspection applicable. Okay, then firewall inspection the traffic, then firewall again firewall then firewall send the traffic to a particular destination, correct? After firewall inspection, the applicable...
again, since see once your packet is decrypted, right, and it has fetched all the values, right? It has fetched all the values. So now in this case, our firewall inspection will not be applicable, right?
Okay.
Here,
okay,
because we have already done the decryption. So our inspection will not be applicable.
So
it will drop down and it will come to this stage. It will forwarding. It will go to the egress stage. It will try to find the route lookup. It will do the route lookup. It will try to check the your like exit interface.
Okay, that was my confusion.
Zone.
Okay, I understood. Thank you.
Okay, so guys, if you will see here, we have completed the ingress stage, how the traffic is being inspected or how the traffic is being handled by the firewall in the ingress stage, right? Post the ingress stage, you guys can see here we have two paths available with our firewall, right? That is a session slow path and one is firewall fast path. Okay, now we have two cases available with our firewall. Okay, suppose we have a connection, one user that is making a connection to the outside world, that is a like Google server, that is 8.8.8. Now we have two possible scenarios available. Either it can be a existing session or it can be a new session, right? So depending upon the session, we have two paths available here. One is your slow path and another one is your fast path. Okay. So if it is your new connection, suppose it's your new connection, the firewall will use the slow path. Okay, it will check everything with the slow path. If it is a existing connection, then firewall will go with the fast path, right? So we are here, firewall will check. If you will see the next stage here, it is mentioned the firewall session lookup. So it will try to find the session with the same source, same destination, whether any session is existing with the firewall or not. If session matches, then it will go and take the fast path, right? If it doesn't match, like it's a new connection, then the firewall will move to the slow path, right? If it's a new connection and your source IP destination IP doesn't match with the session table or session lookup. Now, what are the steps being taken by the firewall in your slow path? First of all, it will do the forwarding lookup, right? What comes in the forwarding lookup? It will try to get the egress interface and zone. Okay. Someone is talking in between. Please mute yourself. Okay. Please mute yourself.
Anandal, can you mute, please?
Yeah. Okay, so guys, here we were discussing about the slow path. Okay, once your connection is being received by your firewall and it doesn't have any existing connection for that particular source and the destination, right? If it will check the session in the firewall, if it doesn't have any session found for that particular source and the destination, right? So it will go for the slow path. And in slow path, it will check the forwarding. It will do the forwarding lookup first. What it will do with the forwarding lookup, it will try to check the egress interface IP, like it will check the egress interface and the zone. Okay. And the L3 route means routing lookup will be taken place here, right? It simply means here the routing will be checked. Sorry, come again.
Which situation firewall decided the slow path?
Okay, I have told you now we have two scenarios available, right? Let me tell you. Suppose this is my firewall, right? And it is having one connection. One user is trying inside our local area network, right? And he is trying to access one Google server, right? Or any Facebook server, right? Let's see. Okay. So here we have two scenarios available. Either the session can be an existing session or it can be a new session, right? If the session is already existing, means user is already accessing the firewall. Once it is already passed through the firewall and it maintains its session details, like what is source IP, destination IP, source port, destination port, right? And again, the traffic from that particular source will come for that particular destination, right? And firewall will check the session table, whether the same source and destination we are having, like I have any session, existing session for the that particular source or destination or not. If it is having the same like session available in it, then it will go with the fast path, right? As else it will follow the slow path if it's a new connection.
So there will
Right.
be,
Suppose
there will be
user
logs, right? In the firewall, it will check like if it is existing or not.
There will be logs. What you're
On the
saying?
session table.
Is there any information stored for the session?
I mean, how
Yes,
many
information will
logs
be
is
stored by the firewall in its session table, okay? Because it's a stateful firewall, as we stated in the beginning, right? It will keep the session detail. What source is coming for which destination, and what is the source port, what is the destination port, right? If the same
suppose this
traffic will
user
come again for the
If
same
any-
source and the same destination, then it will take the fast path, else it will go to the slow path. Now,
suppose this
ask.
user creates this session, suppose connect the this IP particularly 1 month or 3 months preview. So this is what we should actually. The first part is available or not?
If session is cleared, then the slow path will be preferred, right? It will be a new connection for the firewall. Okay. If a session is cleared, you are saying if the session is cleared, then the
For how much time like it is gonna sustain the session?
How much time, like it depends on the user, how the user is trying to access, like how is he means you are getting now someone is sitting in your local area network, he's trying to access one server hosted in your public network, right?
I got your point, but my concern is that like for how much time like the session table is going to be maintained. This is my point. Duration.
I think that I need to check what is the default time.
Okay, no
There
worries.
must be a default
We'll
time
discuss it
available.
later
In
on.
case of our 14net, it is around 3600. Okay, that we can define. What is the default time? We will check how much it can hold the traffic, right? Okay, default. Timeout in Palo Alto, right? Session timeout defines the duration. Okay. What is the default value? It is showing the way how you can use. Okay, no problem. That we will also check while accessing our firewall.
Okay,
What is the default
we can discuss it later on. You can find out.
Yeah, that we can
Let's
check
proceed further.
with our firewall setting, right? What is the default session time available? Okay, so guys, I think this part is clear to everyone. Once the traffic will come to the firewall and it's a new connection, then the slow path will be preferred. And if it is an existing connection, by checking the session lookup, then it will follow the fast path. Okay. In slow path, what it will check? First of all, it will check the forwarding lookup. In forwarding lookup, it will gonna check the egress interface and egress zone, right? And the L3 route, that is the routing table. Okay. And FBD, okay, that is forwarding database. Okay, that comes in your policy based forwarding, right? Means total routing will be done here. Okay, routing part will be checked
sorry
here.
for interrupting. I am searching. I have seen that the default TCP session timeout on Palo Alto network firewall is 3600 seconds, means 1 hour.
Yes, that's what I was telling you. I was not sure.
The default DP session timeout is 30 seconds.
Yes. It's 3600 seconds. Okay. So guys, here routing will be checked, right? First of all, routing will be checked by the firewall, and then the net policy lookup is there. So first of all, it will check if the destination net is present on the matched rule or not. Do the second forwarding lookup to get the final data or the egress interface and zone, right? So first of all, routing will be checked, then the destination net policy will be checked, right? And then the firewall security policy will be checked, whether we have a allow policy for that particular traffic or not.
VSYS means VSYS from L3 route.
It's a VSYS. It's a virtual system, right?
Oh.
Virtual system, you can say dividing your firewall in a logically multiple parts. Okay, like contest we called in ASA, VDOMs we have in Fortinet. Similarly, VSYS is a virtual system, logically dividing your firewall into multiple parts. Okay. So guys, after checking the policy and like net policy destination net, it will check. After checking the destination net, it will check the policy. Okay, security policy, whether we have an existing security policy for that particular source and destination or not. If the rule matches, okay, then it will take it ahead. And if there is no policy available with our firewall, then it will discard the packet. Okay. If policy is there, then it will install the session. Okay. If policy is there, then it will check and allow the traffic, and it will means install the session. Okay. Now come to the fast path. How the fast path will be preferred. Since you have already made a connection, user is already having a connection with the Palo Alto firewall, and based on the information on the session lookup, it identified that it is already having a session with the firewall. So it will go to the fast path, right? In fast path, what it will check? First of all, it will check the L2 to L4 processing will be done by the firewall. That is discard packet if session not in active state. Okay. If the session is not in active state, then it will gonna discard the packet. And if session is already there, then it will update the session lifetime. Okay. And do the source net here. Okay. First of all, source netting will be done here. Okay. After all those things, it will go to the next stage and it will do the SSL proxy decrypt. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
If session is not active, then means what we can do?
If session is not active, then the packet will be discarded by the firewall.
And how we can active this means?
Sorry.
How we can active means establish the connection session?
Then the new connection will be built. Okay. If the connection is not active, the connection will be discarded by your firewall. Okay. Then it will again go back and it will come to this stage. Okay. Slow path. Then your connection will be new connection. Treat it as a new connection. And your new connection, whenever your new connection is established by your firewall, then the slow path will be preferred. Right. So it will take the slow path and it will install the session again. Got it?
The session match found is also doing the same process. Hello.
Yeah.
The session match found is also doing the same process because
session match found will check only your session table, whether it is having a session or not, right? Suppose if anything got skipped from this level, then it will check from this level also. Okay. Whether it is having a, because we have multiple sessions also, right? Active, inactive sessions, right? Yeah. Suppose you have a session with your firewall, but that is not in your active state. That is in your inactive state.
This is a good rule. Actually, I want to clear myself and someone. When I access on web server in an enterprise domain and my traffic is through firewall, sometimes I just click the links and I disconnect the links web server. Okay, then my session first time established, then my session is not active, and I will not do anything right now after 2 hours. That times firewall discard my session because I am in inactive. This is very good, very good rule, because for CPU maintenance, CPU processor, and others connection table to shortage the connection table. This is good, very good benefits.
Yes, 𝗫𝗏𝗏, you are right. After a particular time, the session will be discarded by the firewall. Then again, when the traffic will come to the firewall, it will consider it as a new. But here we are discussing about the case when you have a connection available, but that is inactive with your firewall, right? That is not discarded by the firewall. Okay, that is also not a new connection. That is kept by the firewall in an inactive state. If it's kept by your firewall in an inactive state, that traffic will be discarded by the firewall. Okay, then again it will go to the slow path and it will initiate the new connection. Right? Got it?
Creating the new session and inactive sessions at both points, we go to the slow path.
Yes. Once the packet is discarded, okay? If the packet is discarded, then the connection will be new, right? For new connection, we have a slow path, right? So it will take the slow path then. Okay. If you don't have a means inactive session, if you have an active session, then it will update the session lifetime accordingly, and it will do the netting. Source net will be performed here. Okay. Post this stage, it will do the SSL decryption. Okay. It will check whether the traffic is encrypted or not. If it is encrypted, then it will do the decryption. Okay. After the traffic is decrypted, then it will try to find the session application ID. It will try to match the application signature, and it will try to fetch the application, which application it is carrying, right? If the application is identified, then well and good, it will go further. Else it will go to the application identification process. Okay. In application identification process, you can see we have several stages available. Like we have application override match. Okay. That we will see what is application override. Once we will go through the application control of the Palo Alto firewall, then you will get to know all these things, right? As of now, just go through it, just try to understand the flow. Okay. After that, after understanding all the covering all the topics, then you will again go through this. You can again go through this packet flow, then you will be able to understand what I was talking about in this packet flow, right? So it will check the override policy, whether we have any override policy or not. If override policy is there, then it will do the policy lookup, okay, based on the application. If there is no override policy, then it will go for the application identification based on the application signatures, right? So guys, here you guys can see if the security policy is matched against the application.
Sir, if override, so where the traffic will go? Start stage, security policy lookup based on application, right?
If the override policy is matched, then it will not go to this stage or pattern-based application identification. It will not do pattern-based application identification, right? Means what is the override means? Override means you do not need to go with the signature analysis for that particular traffic that we are defining in the override policy, right?
Override policy means actually?
That is what I'm telling you now. Override policy means it will not do the signature inspection. It will not check the signature for that particular traffic that you will define in your override policy. Okay. So if override policy matches, it will not do the pattern-based identification. It will directly go to the stage of the policy lookup. Okay. If we don't have override policy, then it will check the identification, like it will check the signature, and it will try to fetch the application detail. Got it?
If no, if signature not matches, then means how it process the pattern base.
Signature not matched. Where is it? See guys, here we have two methods available, right? Once the session application is session application will be checked in your fast path. Okay. If your fast path application is not identified, then it will go for the application identification process, right? In application identification, first of all, it will look for your application override policy. So what does override policy means? If your override policy exists, so for that traffic, firewall will not go for the pattern-based application identification process. Means it will not check the signature for that particular traffic that you have mentioned in your override policy, right? So if your override policy is matched, then it will not do the signature analysis. Okay, it will directly come to your policy checkup, right? Okay. And if your rule is matched, then the traffic will be allowed. Or if your rule is not there against that policy, then it will be discarded by the firewall. Okay. And if the policy override is not matched, then the policy signature analysis, or you can policy application identification, will come into the picture, and firewall will try to match the application with the application signature available within its database, and it will go like this. Okay. Then it will check the security policy, then it will check the rule available for that particular application or not, or for that source and destination. Then it will accordingly, if the rule is available, then it will process further, and if a rule is not available, then it will discard the session or discard the packet.
Okay, so I have one question here. Who create application override policy? Is a administrator or?
Yes, it is being created by the administrator only.
Okay, for it is for some particular traffic or all traffic?
No, it is for the some particular traffic only. Suppose
Okay.
if you have some traffic that you do not want to check the
Pattern based.
application
Okay.
signature for that. Okay, you want to save your CPU overhead for the firewall, right?
Okay.
You
Okay.
know that is a well-known traffic, and this is going to my data center, and this is operating on this port only. So I can disable that application override.
Okay.
Right, I can disable
okay.
that from my application override feature available. Okay,
Okay.
in that
Okay.
scenario, the CPU overhead will be minimized by the firewall, right?
Decrease. Okay.
Yeah,
And
CPU overhead will be decreased,
and one thing.
processing will be fast, right?
Yeah, correct. And what is the session application parameter? Session app identified. So, is there any parameter?
Session app identified means whenever your traffic is decrypted. Okay, once your traffic is decrypted by the firewall, then it will check whether the traffic is being identified with the application signature or not. If signature is not identified, right? If the traffic is running over HTTPS and it is going to the facebook.com, okay, and my traffic is not identified that it is a Facebook traffic. It is only identified that it is an HTTPS traffic. Okay, so my application is not identified by the firewall. So if the application is not identified, then it will move the traffic to the application identification process. If the traffic is identified that the traffic is going for the application that is facebook.com or Facebook chat, whatever it is, if the application is identified, then it will go to the next step.
Good.
Got it?
Understood. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. So once this application is identified, so we have discussed here, if the application is not identified, how the application identification will be done by the firewall and how it takes the decision accordingly, right? Now let's take an example when the application is being identified. Once the application is being identified, the firewall will next check the content. Okay, content inspection will be done by the firewall. What comes in the content inspection? I already told you. So guys, what will be there in your content inspection? So guys, here you guys can see it will match the content, right? Means all your antivirus, anti-spyware, anti-malware, all those things, all those detection will be taken care here, right? Now, once your malicious traffic will inspected or your content inspection is being done, then it will check the application behavior, whether your application is being changed from the content inspection or not. Sometimes what happens, the application shift will be taken. Okay, once your sometime whenever user is trying to access facebook.com, then it goes to the Facebook games, then it goes to the Facebook chat. Okay, this is how application shift happens. So after content inspection, it will try to find whether the traffic is being shifted or not, means application is being shifted or not. Okay, if the application is being shifted, then it will again go to the application identification and it will try to fetch the application details, right? If application is not shifted, then it will go further and it will try to detect the result from the inspection, right? Is this clear, guys?
Yeah.
So once the detection is,
Right. In the flow
Yes.
chart, there is mentioned like content detection applicable or not. Like in what scenario like content applicable? Could you please like move for upward little bit? In the flow
Detection
chart.
result from the inspection.
No,
You are talking about this stage?
Go above little bit.
Which one?
in the mid down. Yeah, content
This one?
inspection applicable. Yes.
Okay,
In
that
what
we have
scenario
already
like it is?
discussed. Here it will check whether the content inspection is applicable or not. Like, guys, please don't talk in between. Okay. So, guys, here we are talking about the content inspection. Okay, once the application is being identified, then firewall will try to check whether the content inspection is applicable or not.
I got it.
Karan, could you please mute?
I'm not speaking.
Rakesh, please mute yourself. Rakesh, I think someone is talking in between. Please mute yourself. Okay. So, is it you understood
Yeah,
it?
it is clear. It is clear.
It is clear now. It will go for the content inspection, whether the content inspection is applicable or not. If it is applicable, then it will go for the content inspection. It will do all the checks, antivirus, anti-malware, like bot, all those things will be checked by the signature. Okay. Then application application is changing by the inspection or not, it will check, right? Once the traffic is being forwarded by the firewall, sometime what happens? Application shift happens. Okay. User hits the Facebook, then it goes to Facebook games, then Facebook chat, okay, Facebook videos. This is the way it goes. Okay, so application shift happens whenever traffic will like user hits the different, click on different pages, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Rohit,
Sir, what is the actual work of the
application shift? Can you explain that?
Sorry, come again one by one.
Yeah, could you please explain the application shift? What exactly is that?
Application shift, like suppose I have opened facebook.com, right? And
Yes.
I after opening the facebook.com, I clicked on games. Okay. We have many features available inside my facebook.com, like I have Facebook video, I have Facebook chat available, I have Facebook games, I have Facebook what are those things, post, right? Those are the signatures available within our firewall, right? So here our firewall will try to understand which application exactly it is trying to access, right? After landing into the Facebook, whether it is trying to go for the Facebook chat, Facebook video, Facebook like post, what it is. Okay, because there might be a chance administrator must have like configured a policy that only the Facebook videos will be available and Facebook game will be disabled. So it need to identify the application shift, right?
Okay.
Is it clear?
One question.
Yes,
Application change from content inspection. If yes, then move through the security policy lookup. If no, so discard result from the inspection. So can you explain that what is the application change from content inspection?
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. No? Once any user will go to the facebook.com, suppose, okay, and he is trying to access the different things inside your facebook.com, like he is trying to access the games, he's trying to access the chat.
Okay. The same things, right? Okay. No.
Yeah. So what happens? No, first of all, listen to me. So what happens in our Palo Alto networks? It is having a different signatures available for all those things. Like it is having a different signature for the Facebook chat. It is having a different, or you can say separate signature available for the Facebook video, Facebook uploads, all those things, right? If it is identified, then well and good, it will go beyond. If it is not identified, then it will go and try to find the application based on the signature, right? Because there may be a chance administrator has configured any policy like that, only my Facebook videos will be operational, games will be blocked. Okay, then how it will do? It needs to identify the signature. Clear? Now you can ask, what was your query?
It requires different license for that content inspection, or it inbuilt in?
Yes. We need a different license. Okay. So content inspection, we have a separate license available. Okay. Now the application shift will be identified. If the application shift is not there, if application is not shifting, then it will go to this path. And if application is shifting, then it will go to the application identification. And based on the application signature, it will again try to find the application or try to identify the application based on the signature available in its database. Okay. If the application is not shifting, then it will go beyond, means go further, and it will check whether the result from the inspection, whether like result, what is the result from the inspection, like whether the traffic is legitimate or not. We have set our security profiles. Okay, that is antivirus, spyware, URL filtering. All those profile will be checked against the policy, right? Whether we have set it allow, we have set it as a deny, what action we have put there. Okay, so it will it will try to check the policy, and it will take the decision according to the policy. Okay, whether we are accepting the traffic or we are like discarding that particular traffic. Okay, accordingly, it will move forward for the SSL proxy re-encrypt. Okay, since the packet was decrypted by the firewall, as we have seen here, right? Packet was decrypted by the firewall to do all these type of inspection. Okay, for the application identification, for the content inspection, that is for applying your application signature, not for application signature, and for your antivirus, anti-spyware, all those type of content inspection. So after doing all those things, it will re-encrypt your SSL traffic. Okay. Once the traffic is re-encrypted, okay, then it will move forward for the packet forwarding process. Okay. Now the packet forwarding process comes into your egress interface. Okay, egress process, if you will see here. Now, in your packet forwarding process, firewall will try to find the egress interface, right? It will check which interface it will need to take out the traffic, right? How it will check? It will check via the routing lookup, okay? Or whatever the mode we have deployed in our firewall, that is route, switch, vwire, or forwarding. Route, switch, or vwire forwarding, that we will see in deployment mode. Okay. The next stage
transparent mode are not used here.
Transparent mode is a vwire mode in this case.
Okay.
Of Palo Alto, right?
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. Now, in the packet forwarding process, egress interface will be identified by the firewall, and routing lookup will be performed by the firewall, right? And it will try to do the check in which mode we have deployed the firewall, right? That is a route mode, switch mode, and vwire mode. Means it will try to find the forwarding method, okay, for the egress stage. And then once this stage is done, it will go for the packet egress process, right? In packet egress process, what it will do? It will do the QoS shaping, IP fragmentation, okay? IP fragmentation means, what does it means? Anyone can explain this? What is IP fragmentation?
IP fragmentation means splitting IP.
Yes, split packets. Right?
Split packets, yes.
Whether it is getting the splitting packets or it needs to merge the packets, it will do the QoS shaping here. Okay. Post applying the QoS shaping, it will check the egress interface, whether it is a tunnel interface or not, right? Whether it is your encrypted traffic or not. If it is your encrypted traffic, it is your encryption by IPsec or SSL, then it will do the encapsulation again. Okay, it will encapsulate the traffic and it will repeat the process of forwarding process. Okay, then it will try to find the routing for that encrypted traffic, and it will check whether it is having any dedicated interface or tunnel interface for that or not. Okay, Once you will see the IPsec and SSL configuration, then you will get to know what is IPsec interface and what is SSL interface, right? After encrypting the traffic, it will find the exit interface, whether it is your IPsec encrypted tunnel interface or SSL tunnel interface. Okay, accordingly, it will forward the traffic. If it is not encrypted traffic and it does not need to forward the traffic for the encryption, then it will transmit the traffic as it is in a clear text, right?
Reverse process of egress, right, sir? This process
Reverse
actually.
process is egress. No, we cannot say this. Egress means your traffic, when your traffic will go out from the firewall after doing all the inspection.
Yes.
Okay. Whenever your traffic will be received by the firewall, that will be your ingress stage. When your traffic will do all the inspection, then that will be your this stage, in medium or in between stage, you can see, between your ingress or egress. Okay. And egress is your part where the traffic will go out of the firewall. It will need to find.
It's transmit the packet is called it.
Yes, exit. Exactly. When it transmit the packets, it is known as egress interface. In egress stage, or which interface it is forwarding the packet, it is known as your egress port, right?
Rohit bhai, could you please elaborate after the packet egress process? Like,
packet egress process.
Yes, after
here.
that. Yeah, after this, after
So,
IP fragmentation.
Okay. So after IP fragmentation, it will try to find whether the traffic is your encrypted traffic or not, right?
Okay.
Whether it is your IPsec traffic, it is your SSL traffic or not. If it is your encrypted traffic, like you are establishing a communication between your two sites, between your two IPsec sites, then it will re-encrypt your packet, right? It will encrypt your packet with the IPsec or SSL.
Okay.
Then it will go for the forwarding process. From the forwarding process, it will check the interface, okay? Whether it is your SSL interface, which SSL interface it needs to forward that traffic, or which IPsec interface, tunnel interface, it needs to forward the traffic, right? So accordingly, it will forward the traffic. So if it is not your encrypted traffic with your IPsec or SSL, then it will transmit the packet as it is received in this stage packet egress process.
Okay.
Okay. So guys, anyone have any doubt, has any doubt in this? So this is the packet flow of our Palo Alto firewall networks. Okay. So I know it is very difficult to remember, and
sir,
it is very.
And Rohit bhai, what doubt I had regarding the sessions, like what is an open session, when will be an active session, and like how the process will be followed. That I have some doubt. Could you please elaborate on that part in the egress process?
You are talking about this slow path and pass path, right?
Just yes. This one.
You're talking about this one, right?
This one.
Okay, let me elaborate you with the example that it will make you more sense. Okay, let me go to the pane. Okay. Now let's see, this is my firewall available, right? Suppose this is our firewall, okay? And here we have one user sitting in our local area network, right? Here we have a web server or public server available in internet, okay? Now, guys, here we have two cases available. Either this connection that is originating from your user, that can be your new connection, or it is your existing connection, okay? There may be a chance that user is already having a connection with this public server, okay? And he is retrying for the connection, or he is using this connection. There can be a chance, okay? Now the second case is, it is first time hitting that server, okay?
Yes.
So we have two cases. Whenever the first connection will be established, then the slow path will be preferred, okay? Slow path will be used because firewall will check its session table, whether this source using means hitting this destination is having any session in the session table or not. If it doesn't have any session table, then it is a new connection. It will be considered as a new connection for the firewall. And for the new connection, it will take the slow path. Okay. And if source IP, destination IP is matched in the session table, then it will be considered as a existing session. For existing session, it will take a fast path. In fast path, further we checked, it will check whether the session is active or not. If session is inactive, then the firewall will discard the packet. And it will again initiate the traffic, then it will install the session table, then it will take the session, it will go with the slow path, right? So this is how the slow path and fast path works. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir. Okay.
Got it, na? So I hope we are good for today's discussion. I know this this is little bit tricky.
I hope it will be clear actually when I do the practical and scenario.
Yes. Whenever we will move forward, and whenever we will understand the concept of the Palo Alto, then this packet flow will become more easier to you to understand, right?
So, there will be labs, right? Labs and whatever with CLI where we can.
Yes. Labs will be there. Let me take you to the lab also to give you some demo today. Okay, no problem. Oh, I can remove this. Okay. So guys, you guys can see, you will get a lab, right? We will see everything practically. Okay. Here we are just discussing about the concepts. Then we will see everything in a lab, how the firewall is deployed in real time, right? So you guys can see this is a portal that is available here, right? With the public IP, I am able to access this lab. Okay. You can see here we have one firewall, so I can put any firewall like Palo Alto. Okay. And accordingly, I can build the lab, right? Okay. Suppose I want to connect it with the management. Okay. You can turn it on. Then you are good to go. Okay. You will get this lab access also, right? You can practice the lab with me. We will see each and every scenario practically with this lab, right?
Okay.
So here we will try to achieve every scenario. Okay. Tomorrow I will show you how we can configure the firewall from the scratch, right? How we can configure, see the device is booting up, right? Okay. It will take some time to boot up. So no problem. Tomorrow we will see how we can use the firewall, how we can configure the firewall from the scratch. Okay. What are the basic commands available? Okay. Today we have only gone through the architecture, how it is handling the process, like how the traffic is being handled by the firewall, what is SP3 architecture, right? What is the packet flow? Okay. Now I will also want to show you something, Palo Alto hardware. If you will see PA200 box, right? So guys, this is our firewall. If you will see here, right? I will show you. We have already discussed the logical part. It is divided into, like, we have a dedicated control plane and data plane, right? Now let's see what is available physical box, right? So I'll take this as an example. So guys, you can see this is how our firewall look like. Okay, this is a Palo Alto 200 series box. Okay, you guys can see we have a multiple ports available with our firewall here, right? You can see we have a console port, right? We have a management port, we have a USB port, and we have 4 more ports available here. Okay, so these ports are the data ports. Okay, these are the data ports available with our firewall. And this is
no port is mentioned for WAN and LAN. We can use WAN and LAN by the 4 port. Okay.
Yes. These are the data ports. You can use it in a WAN. You can use
LAN.
it in LAN, you can use it in DMZ.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
According to your
Understood.
need, according to your configuration.
Configuration.
Okay?
So the
That we will
structure.
see tomorrow in a lab. Okay. So here we are discussing about the physical, how the component means how our firewall look like. Okay. So these are our data ports available with our firewall. These are the 4 ports available, which this is very small box that is been used in your small size organization, right? So we have 4 data ports available, and this is our management port, and this is our console port. So everyone knows about the management port and console port. Why we use management port? To take the access of the firewall. Okay, we can have a dedicated management configured. Okay, we can put our firewall in this port, and we can assign the same range of IP, and we can assign one IP of the same range from on this management port, and we can take the access, GUI access of the firewall, right? Console port is used to take the console access of the firewall, right? Whenever you lost anything, like you have lost the connectivity, all the connectivity is lost from your firewall, data port connectivity, management access is also gone, then you can connect the console cable and you can take the access.
By
right?
locally.
Yeah, by locally.
But I have one concern here. This is the latest model firewall. Now we have others.
No. This is not latest firewall. This is very old
legacy.
firewall.
Yeah. Legacy firewall.
Similarly, we have a very big models available in the Palo Alto as well, right? This is a very basic model. I'm just telling you what are the ports available. Okay. Here you guys can see we have a data ports, we have a management port, we have a console port. I'm trying to explain you what are the use of these ports. Okay. So data ports are being used for your LAN, WAN, and DMZ. Okay, accordingly, as you want to use, you can configure it. Management port is used for your managing the box, right? You can use it for managing the box, and console port is used for taking the console access of your firewall, right? Here you guys can see this is very old box, hence it doesn't have any HA port available in this, right? In your newer box, what you will get? You will get a dedicated HA port also, right? For that, you can use for creating the HA, high availability between your Palo Alto firewalls, right?
If you want to connect the router to the Palo Alto firewall, then we need to use the management port, right?
Router, you want to connect router?
Yep.
If you want to connect the router, then you will have to connect it
LAN
with
port.
your port.
LAN port.
Okay.
Management port we can HA, na? We can
No. Management port you can use for the management of your
management the devices. But
yes.
HA
yeah,
port,
you can also utilize it for HA.
Yeah,
No
that
we
is the management.
use the management port to access the Palo Alto firewall through GUI, right?
Right. You can use it for accessing the firewall.
Okay.
Right.
Sir, data port we can use the HA port.
Yes, for data port also you can configure it as a HA port.
Okay, management port and data
While
port.
While configuring your interfaces in Palo Alto, you have a 2-3 modes available to select your interface. How would you like to configure your interface? That is your L3 interface. You want to create it. You want to configure it as L2. You want to configure it as a virtual wire. You want to configure it as a HA. Okay. So we will see everything practically. Then you will get the more clarity, right?
Yes.
Now you can ask your question.
Sir, could you please elaborate how the DMZ zone and the firewall work together? Like how they work together hand to hand?
DMZ zone you are asking about, right? Suppose we have these data ports available in our firewall, okay? So I will be using one port for my local area network, right? That is my LAN zone, okay? Suppose this is my LAN zone, okay? One port I will be using for my WAN zone, okay? That will be connected to the internet, right? And one port I will be using for my DMZ network, okay? So here I will be creating 3 zones. This is the least possible configuration with the firewall. Okay. Similarly, you can have multiple zones. You can have a third-party vendor zone also created, right? According to your need. You can create a VPN zone, right? According to your need. So this is the least configuration that you will have to do with your firewall. So in local area network, you will put all your local users will be sitting here, right? In DMZ zone is your demilitarized zone, as we discussed. All the public server will be placed here. Yeah.
FTP servers, email servers and all, right?
Yes. All of your server will be placed in your DMZ zone, right? All publicly accessible servers will be placed in your DMZ zone. Because why we create a separate zone for our publicly hosted servers? Because if anyhow our DMZ zone is compromised, our LAN network will be protected. Or we have one more security concern here. We never permit anyone from internet to access or to get into our inside network. Okay, so if anyone is coming from internet and he is trying to access our public server, so we have a dedicated zone available for them, so their traffic will be routed to that zone directly. So our LAN will be protected, it will not get hampered if any issue with the demilitarized zone, right? Companies, all information, all means what you can say, crucial information will be placed in your local area network, right? So all your local area network will be protected. So this is the concern why we create the demilitarized zone. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, yes, good.
So I hope everything that we discussed today is clear to everyone.
Yes. Could you share the PDF actually for the study materials?
Sure. I'll share you the lab guides. Okay. Also the PDF theories, everything that we are discussing here, I will be sharing you. Today is the day 1. So we have discussed the basic architecture, functioning of the Palo Alto firewall, packet flow, logic, right? How many ports are available? How the Palo Alto box looks like, how many ports are available. So tomorrow we will try to create one lab. Okay. We will try to access the firewall. We will try to configure the firewall from the scratch. Okay, no problem. I will share you all the documents, okay, for study.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, Rohit,
again tomorrow
for your good discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And
So
thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
please,
Rohit.
guys, try to revise the things. Then
Yeah.
will keep. Yeah.
The PDF will be shared.
Definitely.
Thank you, Rohit. Have a nice day.
For that, Rohit bhai, when
Hello?
will we get the PDF and documents?
I'll share with the Neha ma'am, your training coordinator. You will get from her. Okay.
Okay.
It
What
will be
we will be
shared
discussing
on
here.
WhatsApp or
Whatever
or
we will
mail,
be
Gmail.
discussing here, listen to me first of all. Okay, guys. Whatever we will be discussing here, I will share you all the details. Okay, theory guides, lab guides, everything. Okay. So you will get all those details from the Neha ma'am. You can contact with her. Okay. So you will like revise the things and you will come up with the questions or you have any doubt with that particular topic or
Correct.
right. So we will again meet tomorrow. Same
Sound
time.
good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Have a good day to all of you. Bye bye.
Bye.